Hey everybody, Tony George, Doc Sports. I'm one of the 12 handicappers over at DocSports.com. Little Sports Betting 101 on the value of unit rating and the value of 3 and 4 unit plays over at Docs. You know, the sports betting market is an emerging market, and so is the sports handicapping market. There's a lot of marketing out there from sports books, FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, all over television, with big bonus offers and a lot of temptations, begging you to bet parlays, the biggest sucker bet on the planet. But you also have a lot of guys coming out of the woodwork now that sports betting is becoming legal in almost all the states, claiming to be experts and hyping stuff up, getting you foaming at the mouth, and you're going to get rich overnight. You can't get a little bit pregnant. And I'm going to talk to you about that. There's two things you need in sports betting to be successful: patience and discipline. I've been doing this 35 years. I've been a national radio show host for over 25 years. I've also been on national television. I've been sought after for my opinions because I'm not one of these fly-by-night hypesters. That being said, I'm going to tell you what it takes successful. You've heard always, it's not the destination, it's the journey, and that is true. And the journey in sports betting is one of a daily grind. Slow and steady wins the race. Thus, I speak only for myself. We're like Baskin Robbins with 12 handicappers over there at Docs. And it's been this way at other big websites that have multiple handicappers on it. I've been on all of them over the years. Found a home at Docs 9 years ago, and I ain't going nowhere. But we all have independent philosophies, all have independent plays. I don't know what anybody over there is doing. I don't care. I'm only worried about what my own shop is doing. That being said, 90% of my bets are 3 and 4 unit picks. That doesn't mean because Joe Blow's got a 7-unit play in the NBA that day and I only got a 4-unit play that my play's a POS. It's not. After 35 years of doing this and winning more than I've lost, or I wouldn't be on a website like Docs or any of the big websites, or be talking about it on national airwaves, wherever, regardless of wherever that is, that my opinion holds some water. And I have determined that day that that is the best NHL bet of the day, or NBA bet, or college basketball, whatever. And I single them out, and I slowly start the process of building a bankroll with a disciplined approach. 3 and 4 unit plays are the bread and butter of that. It's what I do 90% of the time. I probably have the least amount of top plays over there. For me to have a top play, every check mark has to line up on one side of a game, and then you have to have a soft line. On top of that, have a weak line. Those are rare. Sportsbooks are handling millions of dollars a day in bets. Millions. Every day. They're not asleep at the wheel in the getaway car. They're sharp. You can find soft markets where books don't catch up right away or whatever. Prop markets kind of still being one of them. But for the most part, when it comes to side and total, those are rare. Just saying. So with 3 and 4 unit plays, a lot of check marks line up. Not all of them. And you have a decent line to work with. That's the best calculated risk on the board. The best sports bettors I know lose 40% of the time. That's a fact. No one's going to tell you that. You have to be prepared for that. 3 and 4 unit plays have just as much value almost as any play on the board on a daily basis. If you're a sharp sports bettor and you're still watching this, you know this for a fact. But I'm going to fill you in. It's very rare that one play in any sport on the board on any given day has much more significance than another one. That's why I probably have the least amount of top plays on the website. That's how I roll. It's not saying that some Joe Blow there or anywhere else is firing games of the month and games of the year every day, and if he's winning them, you're happy. I get it. But I'm about risk assessment. And risk assessment is that I single out best bets in these 3 or 4 unit plays. And I'm not the only guy that does this on the website, I might add. But I'm speaking only for myself. When you have a 3 or 4 unit play out of all the games on the board, you're determining that's the best bet on the board, and that's worth a solid investment. Consider that next time that you're looking at the website or anywhere. You know, the guys that are slow and steady, you know, at the end of the season, if you're shoving all your chips in every single day to hit the mother load, you're not going to last long in this business. You're not going to last long wagering, even as a recreational bettor. You know, I have one of my biggest cards of the year as I tape this today in January in 2026. One of my biggest cards of the year in terms of volume in the NHL. I have a 3-pack, maybe the second time in 2 years I've done that. Because I usually just single out and circle 3 or 4 unit best bets, and I just cherry pick them. Gain traction on the book, so to speak. Well, on that card, I have a 3-unit play and 2 2-unit plays. It's a calculated risk. It always is in sports betting. I limit the downside in case things go south, because they do. You know, I react the same way after a 3-0 day as I do the 0-3 day. My work ethic is exactly the same the next morning because I've been doing this long enough. But bear in mind, because they're not top picks, 3 and 4 unit plays have a lot of value there at DocSports.com. Be sure and take a look at those on a daily basis. Doc Sports, been around 53 years. We'll give you a free $60. Link in the description below or a tab on the upper left-hand corner of the website that says free 60. We'll park it in any new account, and it comes with a profit guarantee. Doc Sports, be there, be square.